Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. I think I'm starting up. It says live video starting. Yes, I'm live now. Hello, good morning. Good morning from the beautiful sunny Gold Coast. Yes, I can say it's sunny now. For the past couple of days, it's been raining in the morning and sort of a bit cloudy, but oh my goodness, it's so beautiful now. And I just can't wait to as soon as we finished, I'm going to get up and I'm going for a walk. I've done a bit of a workout here on the deck. The place that I'm house sitting is on one of the canals in Broadbeach, and it's just delightful. And of course, I'm looking after my friend Joe's amazing 19-year-old cat Lulu, and she's off sleeping, having her morning nap, and hopefully, or you might even hear her as she walks around and pops out into the deck for her daily dose of sunshine. So, good morning. If you are there, let me check my Facebook so I can find you all to make sure I can respond. Colleen, hello. Yes, I can see you. I'll turn me down. Yes, yes, the weather is good for me. I love it. I love Queensland is my happy place. It really is. When I'm talking to the kids, my son lives here and my daughter's in Adelaide, and Ellie she's always saying to me, "Mum, you sound so happy there," and I go, "Yes, I am. It is my happy place. I love it." So, what are we doing today? We are in phase 2. So in the 90 days, in the drop a dress size in 90 days, I've divided it up. If you're new here today, or just listening for the first time, there are 3 phases for this program. And I've structured it strategically to get your body ready and primed, set the foundations, do the preparation in order for your body to feel safe to release visceral fat in conjunction with this amazing product. And I want to talk more about the NZ Fulvic today because literally they've changed my gut health's life. And when your gut's not happy, really everything else is crappy. So that's what I want to talk about today. So the first phase, we really looked at the foundations of health and getting your body ready. And that was all about focusing on rest, hydration, better sleep, and allowing yourself to be present in life. And just listening. And that's another part, and this is what I find many times when I'm working with women, is that they forget to listen, or they just don't realize, they don't know that listening to their body will just give them all sorts of answers and information. And because we're just so busy rushing women syndrome. And when we can begin to slow down, we start to notice different things. And then we get the aha moments. And then we go, oh, yeah, I realize this. Yes, I know I've been eating too fast. I know I've been rushing. I know but they've always put it in the back of their mind, or they've just allowed themselves to do the thing that they don't want to do. In fact, they don't allow. It's not that they allowing themselves. It's actually that your mind checks out. It literally just goes off somewhere else. It checks out. It steps out because your mind knows that you're doing something that you don't want to do. It's not really congruent with who you are. And so you find yourself doing something, and then all of a sudden you've done it, and you did it very mindlessly. So your mind just steps out somewhere, and because you're doing something that's not pleasant. But when we bring our awareness into the present moment, that begins to change everything. Yes, you might still continue on these unhelpful habits for a short period of time, but then you'll start to see some reason around why it's not helpful, and obviously I've given you some tools and strategies to work with these different situations, and then that starts to make a difference and things begin to change. So as an eating psychology coach, I was trained by an incredible man in the States. He's called Mark David. He's actually retired from the world of eating psychology now, which is really sad. So I'm so glad that I got to do his program. And if you ever, he runs a podcast. I'm not sure if he still runs the podcast. Well, there'll be the replays, but he's got a couple of great books and audio books, which I recommend for Mind Body Nutrition on Audible. I recommend for all of my clients to listen to. It's actually part of the program, and it really helps to deliver all the information that I want them to have in their toolbox. So if you haven't listened to that, I will pop a link into it. So what he says, and I just love his take on everything around food and mind and body when it comes to learning how to be an eater, which sounds a bit strange, but when we're talking about food and emotional eating, binge eating, his philosophy is that we're not just about what we eat. So we're not just a product of what we eat. And many people will see that generally as the problem. But we're also more so about what we digest, absorb, and assimilate. And all of that happens in your gut. Everything happens in your gut. And the enteric nervous system in the gut, this is just a fun fact, contains over 100 million neurons. So these are like little messengers, messenger bodies within your body, the neurons. They're more than in your spinal cord. And so this is all about identifying and recognizing that we have a second brain. The second brain is actual biological fact. It's in our gut. And you may have heard of the second brain. I'd be interested to know, if you've heard of that term before. In fact, some people will say we have, this is also factual, we have the mind brain, the brain here. We have brain cells in our heart, and we also have brain cells in our gut. So today, and that's been researched by the Heart Math Foundation. So that's another interesting bit of interesting place to go and take a look. But today we are talking about why gut health is really the new frontier of weight loss, fat loss, and vitality. So wherever possible, I'm trying to move away from the word weight loss, because that can just mean so many different things on a negative level. Even though we're trying to lose weight, there's so much more to weight than just what we eat and how much we move. I really want to shift that way of thinking to fat loss, because it's the composition of our body which will change the shape of our body, which will help us to drop that dress size. It's not the number on the scales, which so many people are conditioned to thinking about. Hi Ali, how are you? Thanks so much for joining today. So let's talk about gut health as being and in terms of the second brain. Chris says, know about all my brains. Always want to enlarge more. Yes, all of your brains. So the second brain, the gut-brain connection. I don't think it's new for most people, but if it is for you, it's just super interesting. So your gut is really home to an incredible network of all these different nerves, It's called the enteric nervous system, and it has trillions of bacteria that communicate directly with your brain via the vagus nerve. Now, we talked about the vagus nerve in phase 1. It's that nerve that goes from the base of your neck all the way down to your spine, and it filters out and goes into all our different major organs and all our bodily systems. And so if our vagus nerve is not activated correctly, it's like there's switches in our body that are turned off, and they're not, and parts of our body aren't working properly. So something else has to kick in to try and boost it up, which puts a strain or a stress on another part of your body. Each and every part of our body works in conjunction with something else. And if one part's not working properly, the other part's struggling, it's not working properly. And also we need to take into account our age. We get older, and what we used to do in our younger years is just not going to cut it. It's not going to work now in our older years. So we need to learn to manage things differently. And of course, we'll have different stressors in our life at this stage and age of life. Some are more and some are less, depending on where you are. So our body is always changing, and we need to find new ways of working with it rather than working against it. So we really need to, we talked a lot about this at the vagus nerve, is turn on those switches, activate the vagus nerve and turn on the switches so all the other parts of us can do what it's supposed to do, from a system and body function perspective. So our mood, our cravings, our metabolism, and even our decision making is all influenced by your gut flora, all the microbiome in your gut. If you are stressed, they are stressed. I was speaking with one of my clients the other day, and a thought came to my mind about all the gut flora. Do you know the minions, the little blue and yellow minions, those little funny creatures? That, you could think about your whole gut as all these little funny minions, and they could be all grumbly, but they could be all happy. And we want them all to be happy. We want all of this gut flora, the microbiome in your gut, to be happy, because when they're happy, you're happy. Crappy food, crappy mood. So it's super, super important that, if you are struggling with stress or anxiety, depression, then it's so important to make sure that you are eating good quality food, because that will directly affect your mood. If you feel or identify as an emotional eater, and that's the area that I really specialize in, emotional and binge eating, it's often, actually, there are many pieces of this puzzle, and a large part of it can be biological before it's behavioral. So an inflamed, unbalanced gut can drive urges that aren't helpful. So, we need to look after what we put into our body to preserve and protect our gut lining, our gut flora, the whole kit and caboodle. Now, something that I really love, and how, again, Mark David from Eating Psychology posed this, is that I know we've got some people in our group who study Western medicine in either a different healing modality. I am a Reiki master, so I studied Reiki, and I'm aware of the chakra systems, energy within our body. And because we are, and quantum physics, it's all, we are just one big bunch of energy. And he describes it, our gut as being the gathering place of the sun. It also has a couple of Eastern names, and they'll come to me in a moment. Ali, you will know. What are the names of how the gut is portrayed in Japan? The word is on the tip of my tongue, but there's a couple of names, India and Japan. However, this part of our gut he calls it the gathering place of the sun. In the chakra system, it's bright yellow. So it's the solar plexus meaning sun. And it is bright yellow. And so the sun represents energy. And our gut, when you think about it, this is where all our energy starts, because we put our food in here, and this is where the process starts. Food comes in through the mouth and, filters down into the gut, and then is processed and metabolized into the areas that we need for survival. So this is where our energy system starts. So in traditional Chinese medicine and other ancient systems, the gut is seen as the energetic core of the body. The hara, Dantian, I've got it. So the hara and Dantian. Just a quick tip, by the way, if you there's a word at the top of your tongue and you can't find it, just tell yourself or say out loud, it will come to me. And 100% of the time it will. Usually fairly quickly, sometimes takes a while. But I've found that so helpful when I just say to myself out loud, it will come to me, because I know it's there. So the Dantian or the hara is our gathering place of the sun. And so this is where energy is digested both physically and emotionally, because, we don't say to ourselves, we've got an elbow feeling or we've got an ear feeling. We say, I've got a gut feeling. I've got a gut feel about this. So we feel a lot in our gut. So it's talking to us all the time. If you feel anxious, you'll feel it in your gut. You'll feel rumbling. You'll feel butterflies, or excitement. We will feel it in our tummy somewhere. And I'd love to know, if you're watching, is this something that you've experienced, these gut feelings or, feelings of excitement or butterflies in your gut? Or have you felt that, this is where your energy is when you eat good quality food, and there's a point in time, perhaps it's during the day, and that you're actually hungry, and you eat good quality food and you just feel so satiated. Colleen says definitely yes. That feeling of being satiated is just magical. You just go, that feels so good. It feels so good on every level when you eat good quality food. So the gathering place of the sun, solar plexus, is our gut. This is where we digest physically and emotionally. And if that energy center is not working properly, or it's disturbed in some way, i.e., we're highly stressed, we're not eating good quality food, then our whole life force is diminished. We become low and down, and we look low and down. The tone of our face changes, the dullness or brightness in our eyes, things change. So people will say that, and someone said it to me yesterday, you look a picture of health. And I went, oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. And when you see people, they look a picture of health. When you see people that don't look healthy, you might not verbalize it, but there's something within you that will go, not healthy. And so we want to preserve our health. When this part of us is really strong, we have more clarity, vitality, we have more confidence, we've just got energy, we've got get up and go, we want to go and do things. And if it's all compromised, then we can feel foggy and anxious and just really heavy, like dragging ourselves around. And clearly that's not a space where we want to be. So when we have a healthy gut, everything changes. And if we don't have a healthy gut, it can lead to all sorts of things. One of them is leaky gut. You may have heard of leaky gut. I know that I have struggled with leaky gut for many, many years. and I would say some IBS as well. Um, but when we have a leaky gut, it allows toxins to get into our bloodstream. And so that leads to inflammation. So if you imagine your gut, it actually gets leaky. It gets little rips and tears in it. And the toxins that we eat and consume and put on our body, it gets out into our bloodstream. And of course, if the body detects poison or toxicity within our body, it's not normal, it's not natural, then it will set up its defense mechanisms, which is inflammation. So it can lead to all sorts of things. And bear in mind that we can be doing this unknowingly, putting lots of toxin into our body, environmentally, food-wise, topically, for many, many years before we go, oh, I think I need to change this. And, you know, it's not your fault. It's a generally learned behavior, something that we've learned to do. And how we eat, how we clean, what products we put on ourselves. So this, if we're not healthy in that area, it can lead to things like insulin resistance or autoimmune challenges, fat storage around the belly. We've been talking a lot about that in regards to hormones, and our hormones can just be in chaos simply by being, working through that midlife stage and navigating your your decline in estrogen and progesterone, and that causes a whole heap of stuff going on in our body. And this is where we need to change our lifestyle, the style of life that we're living. We need to make adjustments. And so I can't emphasize enough, crappy food equals a crappy mood. So when you're looking at the quality of the food that you're eating, always ask, is this supporting my body? How is it that I can support myself? It doesn't mean that you have to be an absolute food Nazi and just, never have anything that's pleasurable ever again. It just means balance. And whatever you do eat, make sure it's good quality. We can still have beautiful, fresh, sweet foods without the chemicals. So, you can make foods, beautiful foods, without the toxicity that is inherent in anything really that we purchase off the shelves, unless it's from a place that makes homemade stuff. So our gut produces 90% of our serotonin and 50% of our dopamine. These are our feel-good hormones. So it just absolutely makes sense for us to make sure that we're giving our body good food, because then if we're not giving ourselves good food, we're not supporting our mood, we're not supporting our brain. So I'd just like to hear in the chat, how does this sound for you? Is this making sense, or are there any aha moments here, or is anyone thinking, maybe I need to change my morning protein bar snack or something? Is anyone sort of thinking along the lines of there's something that you can do to support your gut health, just by knowing a little bit more about our gut? Can anyone think of, and perhaps you have a suggestion or a way of keeping those little minions in your gut nice and happy? So I'd love to know if you've got any thoughts around that in the chat, because I've got so much information in my head, and I want you to be able to get the best of it, but I don't know what you're thinking. And so if you've got any questions, please just ask. If you've got any comments, please put them in, because you never know, a comment will just send me on another tangent and give you more information that's more relevant to you. So if you've got something rattling around in your mind, please pop it in. Colleen says, I know immediately by the way my body feels if I am eating the wrong stuff. Yes, isn't that interesting? And uh, sometimes that's a call to action to remind ourselves to listen, because our body is sending messages all the time. But if we're not listening, we don't know what's happening and we don't know what to change. And so generally, many people are just not listening and they're too far future focused. You are what you eat is so me. Sugar means I am in pain. Wow. So eating sugar signals a pain response to you. Is that right, Colleen? And that actually makes perfect sense. And I've felt before that if I eat too much sugar, I can get a headache. That's pain. I can feel sick. That's pain. Um, I know people who eat high amounts of sugar, all of a sudden their joints start aching. They have a physical reaction in their body, and these can be your internal external monitors. Yes, I think it inflames my arthritis. Yes, absolutely. Because your body's setting up an inflammation response. So this doesn't mean you should never have sugars, but stick to the natural ones. Stay away from the processed sugars. They have all sorts of nasty chemicals in them. So, stick with natural foods, natural sugars, but always in balance. It doesn't mean that you have to abstain or deny yourself from those, yummy foods, but looking at ways to support yourself. Alison said, I can no longer be vegan as all of the beans kill me now. Pain and bloated for days. Wow, that's interesting, Ali. No longer be vegan, all the beans. That's part of listening to your body. And I'm wondering, because I know, you're going through a lot of challenge at the moment with your body, going through it could be, we talked about this, a healing crisis, and I did a little post on it where your body is just it's got to a point where it's making it safe to release toxicity. And in doing that, we can become bloated, really uncomfortable, tired, foggy, fatigue, irritable, all sorts of things. I've experienced that, and it's simply part of a detoxification. Your body is detoxing, and it could be that, and I don't know, perhaps that it has always been that, but there was a level of tolerance for you that you didn't notice what it was doing. And now there's different foods, and because you're using the fix, perhaps that is now changing how your body processes food. So it's really quite interesting, and perhaps we weren't listening and thinking, oh, this is because of this or other things. But when we start really nutting down and being quite specific about, okay, almost like creating a checklist, what's my sleep like? What's my gut like? What are my bowel movements like? What's my thought processes like tick, tick, tick. And actually in the Facebook page, in the guide section, yes, there is a whole checklist that you can download, because these will indicate changes within your body. Even though your goal is fat loss to shrink, there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to happen before your body feels safe to shrink. And so these are the things that this guy is totally working on. Yes, I'm all of that, says Ali. Colleen says, I've learnt the hard way. And learning is healing, and that leads to change, change leads to the healing, but also awareness leads to change, and then it becomes choice. It becomes choices that you make, and over time, because it does take time. This is why I've set this up as a 90-day protocol. We need to have those 90 days to really, give our body the best chance with all the foundational work first, and this is the next part of it. So I'm just looking at the time. I do the time frames here in it's 8:30 here in Queensland, but I'm assuming it's only 8 o'clock there. So I got a bit scared. I thought, oh my God, I've run out of time. No. So there are lots of microbes associated with metabolic efficiency, while others are linked to obesity and inflammation. So we need to have a balanced microbiome that supports appetite regulation, fat burning, stable blood sugars, and stress. And there's a couple, and there's a story that I want to tell you. I may have mentioned this before, but if you're new to the program, then I mentioned earlier that our stress levels affect the microbiome in the gut. If you're not happy here, your gut is not happy. If your gut's not happy, your mind is not happy. But when we're talking about stress and gut health, there was a study done in, now I don't know if it's World War I or II, where they were able to measure the amount of microbiome in the gut of each pilot that went out on a bombing mission. So they had this measure before they left on mission. The Japanese pilots went out on a bombing mission. If they were lucky enough to return, when they returned, their microbiome was completely decimated, gone, absolutely gone. They had no microbiome in their gut. And this was as a result of extreme stress levels. And so if you can imagine, even perhaps thinking in your own life when you've been stressed, have you been constipated, for instance? Like, I don't know, 30 years of my life, 40 years of my life. So my gut health has never been good, but also I have an autoimmune condition, Hashimoto's, and that also contributes to the to my gut health. And so if my gut is not working properly, my microbiome unable to process and assimilate the food that I'm eating, I'm not drinking enough water, I'm stressed, all this stuff is happening, I'm not getting enough oxygen into my body, then your whole gut, when you're stressed, actually begins to slow down the process of digestion, and it will begin to shut down. It will put you into the fight or flight response, which means all the energy goes out of your gut and into your arms and legs for, quick fighting or fast running, to run away. So this is part of the foundational work. But when we are in a stressed state, our gut is in a stressed state, and we will feel bloated, we will feel fatigued and frustrated. We might be doing all sorts of things like, exercising, extreme fasting, extreme exercising, extreme, dieting. But nothing has, been working for you. You can feel exhausted and really stuck in a cycle of emotional eating, thinking, oh, I just want to eat to feel better because I feel terrible. And, I totally get and understand that. However, it can be a nasty cycle, but we need to stop it at some point and really focus on here, rest, and digest our food, and making sure that we're eating, supporting our body with good quality food. And so this happens so often. I just finished working actually with a lady, and her name's Laura. She's a doctor, and she was working with me around gut health, feeling like, she had this huge bloating. She felt like, she was like 6 months pregnant all the time, this really, really prominent gut. And we did a lot of work around emotion, and, some also food, but more so it was emotion. And by the time we finished, she didn't have this gut bloating problem. She wasn't focusing on it anymore. She felt like she'd been freed from all the trauma childhood that had been manifesting in her gut, undigested trauma, which is so interesting. And she was wearing clothes that she hadn't worn for ages and ages. She felt comfortable. She never even looked at her gut in the mirror and focusing on how it was and what she didn't like about it. She was just living her life, feeling happy. And we resolved a whole heap of other things as well. So our mind and our gut just so totally interconnected, and we need to look after both of them. So the magic and about how to work on your health isn't always, fat loss isn't always about what you eat. It's very much about restoring your second brain, restoring your gut health, managing your mind health. All right. Can anyone relate to that, by the way? Can anyone relate to being really stressed and noticing a change in their gut? Is this something that you've heard of before, or is that new to you? Have you noticed when you're happier, you feel lighter, you don't have the bloating? Colleen says yes. Isn't that interesting? And having that awareness then allows you to go, how is it that I can actually be intentional about feeling lighter, looking for ways that I can be happy. It happens to me all the time. Yeah. And it could be that if it's happening all the time, do you have some strategies in place, things that we've talked about, which I'm going to talk about as we go through, that you can utilize to support your body through stressful times, because we can't always be in control of what's happening externally, but we can be in control of what's happening internally. So I want to talk about some things that you can implement today to heal your gut and reset your second brain. Who would like that? Me. All right, a couple of things. Hey, Nick, how you going? Nice to have you here. We're just talking about some practical tools that you can help to heal your gut and reset your second brain, which is your gut. So add gut healing foods. Chris says yes, fermented foods, kimchi. There is some amazing kimchi that I have found. It's at Adelaide Fresh Fruiterers. So I'm down south. I don't know if they've got it everywhere, but it's red kimchi and it's got like this chili in it, and it's just delicious. There's kimchi and there's kimchi. This kimchi is absolutely delicious, and I was putting it on my eggs in the morning. Oh, so yummy. So if you can find a good kimchi, then I would absolutely have it as one of your staples in the fridge. Colleen says, I am learning. Read the Let Them Be Theory by Mel Robbins. It has helped me lots. That sounds interesting, Colleen. I'd love for you, if you could, if you've got a link to that, pop it into our page. That would be great. It could be helpful for someone else. So fermented foods. Get yourself into some sauerkraut, some kimchi, some kefir, or some miso, or some kombucha. So choose sugar-free. You can make your own kombucha if you're adventurous, and I think you can make your own kefir as well if you've got the starter mother or something. I'm not quite sure what that is. But Nicola says, what brand is that kimchi you get? Oh, it's at home, Nicola. I don't know. When I go home, because I need to get some more, I will take a photo of it. But it was in Adelaide Fruiterers, and I'll see if I can find it online. but it's making my mouth water. It's so yummy just thinking about it. What else can you do? Gut healing foods, prebiotic fibers. So things like onions, garlic. If you're, obviously some people aren't, these things don't sit with their gut. So you listen to your gut. If it doesn't sit with it, don't have it. But if it does, you haven't tried it before, be curious. Remember, always be the curious scientist, nutritional explorer of your own body. Onions, garlic, leeks, asparagus, artichokes, and green bananas are good prebiotic fibers. In fact, any fresh food is a prebiotic. So it's always good to eat fresh foods. Bone broth, which is rich in glutamine to repair the gut lining. There's so many bone broths out and about. Some are not so nice, some are absolutely delicious, and it's particularly for winter. You can have it, you just drink it like a cup of soup. It's really, really yummy. So there's lots of different, best of the bone. I like that one, and there's another one, and I can't think what it's called. It's got a strange name, but if you are a fan of bone broth, and there's one that you like, pop it into the chat. Chris says, I used to make my own kimchi 10 years ago for a couple of years. Because it's Chinese cabbage and something else, isn't it? I don't know. And this kimchi that I get, when you open it, it's all bubbly inside. So it's alive. Like it's, you know that it's good because when you open it, it actually bubbles. So yeah, it's amazing. What else can we do? We can remove irritants. So an irritant is any processed food. Highly processed foods, HPFs, just get rid of them. Vegetable oils, refined sugars, and for some people, gluten. Now, I have traditionally been very gluten intolerant. I didn't realize for many years, but as soon as I stopped having gluten, my gut was a lot happier. Do you know, since I've been taking Fix, I am no longer bothered by gluten. I can eat it. I don't get cramps or wind. I can have, when you get information from, if you're going to a function that says, do you have any dietary requirements? I can say no. I can just eat everything. I feel really good about that. So this little miracle cure here, it's not really a miracle cure. It's doing a lot of work. It's helping my body turn the switches on to do the things that it's supposed to be doing. Has now allowed me to have foods occasionally with gluten without a problem, which I'm so grateful for. Avoid artificial sweetener. So any kind of artificial sweetener, don't have it. It messes with your brain. If it's a natural sweetener, yes, fine, but not artificial ones. Not the like the little pills that you put in your cup of tea. I can't even remember what they're called. They'll come to me in a moment too. Aspartame. And any of the natural stevias, okay, but obviously white processed sugar, no. Slow down. So I've talked about this before. Slow down while you eat, breathe before each meal, put more oxygen into your gut, get your gut into a rested state, and chew slowly. So aim for about 20 to 30 chews per bite. I don't want you to count every time you eat, but just get the idea that, yeah, you need to chew your food. And because that's part of the digestion process. And if your food's getting into your gut's only partly digested, well, your gut's not getting the most out of the nutrition. Because we want to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, like I said, the rest and digest. And so this will help your body to absorb everything more. Now, in addition to food, the two powerful allies that I have come across, and that's the reason that you're here in this group, because I want to support you through a process of setting foundations, healing your gut so your body feels safe to release the toxic fat and to repair your metabolism and reset it so that your body, it's working in ways, and I'm talking about Fix, it's working in ways to repair those systems, to activate your vagus nerve, to build the bridges, to turn the light switches on, to help your body to do what it's supposed to do naturally. But over time, toxicity, inflammation, you know, poor choices of food, perhaps chronic stress, things break down. Age. Now we need to build all this up again and support and repair our body. So a little bit about MHE3. It comes from the hops. It's a powerful plant-based compound extracted from matured hops bitters. So it's not your average herb. You don't buy this on Amazon. You don't buy it at the supermarkets. You don't buy it at the naturopaths. It's actually been scientifically studied, and it's a result of 70 years of research. So over 70 years, they have tried to extract these particular components of the hops plant, and it's completely patented. You cannot get it anywhere else other from the company Marketplace Global. And so it helps to support your gut, repair your gut, and helps your body to release toxins by making it safe. It will store it in visceral fat first, because that's the only safe place to store toxicity in your body. But it doesn't want to release it if the rest of your body's not in a healthy state. So it will store it, and I know some people, some people will feel that they're putting on weight, but it's more water, more fluid, as the fat cells, the visceral fat cells start to store water to keep the fat safely enclosed until the rest of the body is in a state that it feels safe to release. And then some people refer to that as the flushing effect. All of a sudden it just goes. So, you really need to support your body by drinking lots and lots of water, eating good quality food, slowing down, doing all the foundational work, getting good sleep, thinking about the end game of, well, I know that my body is repairing. This is just part of the process. Nicholas says, I love the heart math information. It's fascinating. Yes, I know. Heart math is just incredible with, the working with the three brains here. So MHE3 supports the vagus nerve. We've talked about the vagus nerve, the importance of it. It activates it. That's the switch. That's the rest and digest switch, which we need to flick on. That helps to regulate inflammation, digestion, and even our mood. It helps us to reduce visceral fat, because it turns the brown adipose fat to activate thermogenesis, and that comes from the white adipose fat, the visceral fat, the white fat, or the WAT fat, W-A-T. That's the dangerous fat that wraps around our organs and directly linked to gut dysbiosis and inflammation. Fix also enhances your digestive enzyme activity. Let me tell you about my gut. When I first started this, my gut was very unhappy. I was awfully constipated, very, very bloated. Any gluten, anything that I had would just bleh, and wind, wasn't good. It took probably 10 to 12 weeks. I knew something was happening. My bowel movements were all over the place. Sorry if you're having a breakfast, but this is what we know. When things are working, our bowels are moving. If our bowels aren't moving, things aren't working. So, it took a while for my gut, 10 to 12 weeks to balance out. And now I'm quite happily very regular, no more bloating. I feel great. But I had to go through that process, and it wasn't pretty, it wasn't pleasant. And I went through that. That's part of the detox. And I felt horrible, crappy, the whole thing, no energy. And I realized that this was just my body rebalancing itself. Now I feel amazing. So I want to, try and instill hope for those of you that are feeling, oh, this isn't working. It is. It's going to take longer. And that's all because everybody is different. It's like a Pandora's box. When you look at all the other small things that are happening, then they are part of the bigger process of healing and repair. And we want to promote homeostasis. We want to calm the gut. Homeostasis is all about the enteric nervous system balancing and calming and getting your whole body and mind into balance. That's where we are designed to be. So when we have a calm nervous system, we have a calm gut, and when we have a calm gut, fat loss then becomes a natural byproduct. So there's work to be done. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is NZ fulvic. This is often called the missing link in nutrition because it's naturally occurring in soils in New Zealand. It has over 70 trace minerals in it. And what it does, it improves nutrient absorption. So it helps your body to transport more vitamins, minerals, and amino acids into your cells directly. So how I found this is nighttime cramps. They had reduced quite significantly from my from almost all of my legs, from the very top to the very tips of my toes, when I was on utilizing Fix. But I was still occasionally waking up with nighttime cramps in my feet and through my calves, occasionally. And I was taking magnesium to supplement, to help with that. And I was eating a lot of magnesium-rich foods. So I ran out of magnesium and this arrived. So I thought, I'll just see how this works. And, from day 3, no more cramps. No more cramps. They used to be so severe, they would wake me up in the middle of the night. I'd have to get up out of bed and stand on my feet to get them to, stretch out. I couldn't just hold my foot and stretch it. I had to stand up. So obviously my sleep was being disrupted. Since I've been taking this, I've had more energy. My cramps are all gone. I feel brighter. Like it supports my gut health, which has already been really good. But it's like a cellular cleanser. So it binds to toxins and heavy metals in the gut to help gently eliminate them. So once again, if you're taking these two combined are going to support your gut from the repair system and get that toxicity out of your body. So it's going to help to rebuild the gut lining, reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, and it gets at that cellular level. And it's also a fantastic electrolyte. So if you're drinking lots of water, which you need to be, 40 mils per 40 kilos of body weight, then, for some that could be up to 3 litres. The door just banged. And so you need, if you're drinking that much water, you need to make sure that you're getting enough correct electrolytes within, how much you're drinking, because you don't want this to flush out really important vitamins and minerals from your body. You need to replace it. So fulvic is, if I open it, it's like this little liquid gold, and you just squirt it into your, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you just squirt it into your drink. So those two combined will really help to support your gut, which is the center of everything. And, we want to really increase our microbiome, have more energy, improve our metabolism, reduce our inflammation. And these two things are there as part of this program and the information that I'm giving you to support your body to get it to that last phase, which will be phase 3. So this month is all about detoxing, and I'm super excited that next week we are going to have the amazing Dr. Teresa Ibarra on board. She is going to go through, she is an incredible, knowledgeable woman who has a doctorate in health. She's an iridologist, a holistic health coach. She's the founder of Metabolic Magic, and she knows so much about gut brain health. And so I'm very fortunate to have her coming in. She'll be live. We'll be talking live to you. Will be recorded if you can't make her. But I'm super excited to have Teresa on, Dr. Teresa Ibarra, and just really soak up all her knowledge and get her insights and knowledge into how we can support our bodies moving forwards, particularly in phase 2. So has anyone got any questions? Has anyone got any questions for me before we wrap it up? I know Ali posted a question in the group, and I've responded to Ali about, and I think I've covered that, pretty much throughout the session today, in regards to, feeling like you're putting on weight, bloating, that it's, you're feeling worse. And this is a known phenomena. It's called a healing crisis. There's another scientific name for it. I don't know, it's called Hertzsprung or something. But I've run a post on it on my personal page. I'll pop it into this page as well. But a healing crisis is when when your body is just really focused on taking out the trash. It's getting rid of all the rubbish. It's preparing and making your body safe to get rid of that rubbish in your body, all the toxicity. And so it can take time. As a Reiki master and healer, when I was practicing healing, this would happen where people would come to me for to get healing on some particular issue, and it wasn't uncommon that their symptoms would get worse before they got better, and then all of a sudden, bang, body would just improve, and that the symptoms would just disappear. It is a known phenomena. There's a book by Deepak Chopra called Quantum Healing, and he also talks about a healing crisis. It's not pleasant, but it means your body is doing the thing. Chris, enjoy your peaceful environment, background so pretty. Yes, it is. This is such a beautiful place, and it's so nice sitting outside listening to the Queensland birds. They're all very different than the birds we have in Adelaide. So please come back next week, and I'm super excited to have Teresa on. But just as a recap for today, just know that your gut isn't just where digestion happens. It's not just about digestion. It's so much. This is your second brain. It's a major driver of your metabolism, your mood, and obviously fat loss. When our gut's not happy, we're going to suffer from inflammation, weight gain, fat storage, and fatigue. No one wants that. And we really need to focus on healing our gut, because that also sets another level of foundation for deeper detoxing and sustained fat loss. So when you're combining the right kinds of foods with the right kind of tools and supplements, mind, body and soul, then you're really supporting your body to heal and be the best version of you. And that's what we want. That's what I'm here to help you be, the best version of you. And the fact that you're here to support yourself means that you're already supporting and being part of your own success. And learning is healing, and healing is learning, and going through that whole process of change and listening to your body. It's a process, and we want to support ourselves in that process as best we can. So if there are no other questions, I might just wrap it up there. I might head out on a bit of a walk, and If you do have any questions, pop them into the comments section, tag me, and I look forward to next week. I'll be back in Adelaide, and we will be live with Dr. Teresa Ibarra. So excited for that. No worries, Colleen. Thank you. Thanks so much for jumping on. And if you do want to know how to organize yourself some fix, I'll put a link in the group. But pretty much all you do is go to your back office and you can order 1 bottle or 2 bottles, and make sure that you've got this on auto ship too. So if you don't have it on auto shipment, let me know. If you don't know how to do it, I can help you with that as well. But it's part of being consistent, helping your body to get into that rhythm and that routine of allowing it to do its healing in a good block of 90 days. All right, everyone, I will finish up there. Enjoy the rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you next week. Happy Wednesday. Bye-bye.